Live from the slightly twisted deck bar, it's the Poojie Podcast with Justin Lemine.
The Poojie Podcast is proudly sponsored by Cimarron Golf Club, located in Jacksonville, Florida, off County Road 210, just west of St. John's Parkway.
What is going on, everyone? It is Monday, June 29th, and it is lunchtime, so hope everyone's having a great week so far and enjoyed a nice weekend with whatever you may have been doing. But some exciting news out of the world of football in the NFL. Yesterday, free agent quarterback Cam Newton signing a one-year contract with the New England Patriots, and I know myself, like many other football fans, were very curious and almost waiting to see where Cam Newton was going to sign, and he had Patriots written all over him. Didn't seem like a guy that was going to go anywhere and just settle for a backup role. And New England felt like a great spot for him to go and actually get a chance to start and, maybe see if he can take the Patriots back to the playoffs after most people were beginning to ride them off after their theory of starting Jarrett Stidham. Obviously, with the success that the Patriots have had the past 2 decades, it's difficult to think that they wouldn't make it to the playoffs, but that's where it looked like it was heading. So that's what I want to talk about. So let's talk about it. Cam Newton signs with the Patriots, and Bill Belichick is obviously the head coach. Now with Tom Brady in Tampa, it kind of seemed like the dynasty was falling apart a little bit. And obviously Cam Newton had some injuries in Carolina that kept him from performing at a high level after his MVP seasons. Obviously, Super Bowl as well with Cam Newton. So he has some success and he's had a great career so far in the NFL. Who's to say that's not going to continue with the Patriots? I mean, Bill Belichick has proven time and time again that he can make something work with pieces that no one else thought could work. He's got Cordero Patterson running different schemes than the Vikings had him, and Patterson found himself in a pretty successful spot in New England. Bill Belichick runs with 3 or 4 running backs per game. Not any of them are typically considered superstar running backs, but a lot of them find their spot on the roster and find playing time. So Bill Belichick is probably the best coach when it comes down to that type of stuff, finding spots for players to play. So why not think that this is going to continue with Cam Newton? You have a guy, very athletic, a mobile quarterback who's found success in this league, maybe didn't have the best departure away from Carolina after the Panthers kind of treated him a little poorly, weren't too transparent with him about what their plans were. And obviously we now see kind of where they are going. And that left Cam Newton to sign where he wanted to sign. And I don't know if they're going to go out and win 13 games or so, but I strongly believe they'll be a competitive team. But that leads me to the question, when it was Belichick and Brady, who was it more and why can't it be both? So many times in sports with these types of debates, we feel as sports fans that there has to be a winner. There has to be one side to the argument. Was it MJ being the greatest? Was it LeBron being the greatest? Is it Clayton Kershaw? Is it Justin Verlander? We have all these questions pop up. Why can't there just not be an answer, and why can't it just sometimes be both? Because here's the deal. When it comes down to who is the greatest of all time, so many people have so many different standards of the different aspects of sports. And what may be important to you might not be important to me. And what may be important to me might not be important to you. So you may say, oh, MJ won 6 of 6 NBA finals. LeBron has it. Oh, therefore MJ's better. But then I might say LeBron has greater stats and leads all the categories. So it's a cyclical argument, but I will say that's the beauty of the argument. Debates in sports are not math equations. It's never 2 + 2 = 4. Maybe that's why we love them so much. Maybe that's why we embrace these types of debates so frequently. But what I am excited about is for Bill Belichick to see what he can do with Cam Newton. Part of me was very excited to see what he would do with Jarrett Stidham because I wanted Belichick to solidify himself as the piece that was the success behind the Patriots. But now I'm kind of more excited. I mean, not that I want to sit here and say the Patriots are going to be the successful team. I'm not a Patriots fan by any means, but it would be exciting to see Tom Brady leave the Patriots and Cam Newton step in, and how upset would the rest of the AFC East fans be, the rest of the AFC fans be. People were so ready for the Patriots to just find the cellar and be bottom dwellers. And, of course, they would probably, go get the first pick and get Trevor Lawrence next year, but that's besides the point. It'll be interesting to see if the villains can remain the villains, and not to mention they had some penalties handed down to them for those videotapes that came out of the Cincinnati Bengals last season. So interesting stuff there, but let's talk about it. Is it Belichick? Is it Brady? Why can't it be both? And will we find out any more about that debate by Cam Newton being a piece on the Patriots? So let's talk about it, and let's get to the interview presented by Strings Sports Brewery. I went there last week to enjoy their 1-year anniversary celebration. They do a great job over there, as always, and they are bringing you this interview. So enjoy and stick around for PoojieParlay to recap what happened in the world of NASCAR and PGA Tour golf this past weekend, and maybe a few soccer updates as I'm getting a little bit more comfortable and confident there. So thanks for listening, and stick around for PoojieParlay. Enjoy the interview. Very happy to have this next guest join the show today. Spent a lot of time at UCF as a football player, 2013 to 2017. So has a lot of cool stories to tell about his time there and some of the interesting passions that he has going on since he graduated there. So thank you for being here, Aaron.
Yeah, thanks for having me, man. I appreciate this opportunity.
Yeah, for sure. So I know you kind of mentioned earlier today you guys were looking into adopting a dog. Are you a big animal person, kind of into pets,
Oh,
things
yeah.
like that?
Oh, yeah, I love animals. Shout out Tiger King, right?
Yeah.
No, but no, I really love animals. I got a big heart for animals. One day I hope to have a pet cow, low key, high key. That's a high key note there.
Yeah.
But yeah, me and my girlfriend are trying to get a dog and open up that door. I've always wanted a dog, so.
Awesome. No, that's cool. And how are you and your girlfriend handling this weird, unprecedented time right now with the whole coronavirus going on?
Just trying to stay productive. Yoga, creativity, stretching, like art. I mean, you just go down the list, trying to just do things at home that you can do to maximize your time, invest in yourself, so to speak, read a book, instead of just scroll social media. But I mean, I'm as guilty of that as anyone, I promise. When I get that report every Sunday, screen time, I'm like, yeesh.
Got to cut back on that, right?
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, so I know you obviously played football at UCF. You were on the offensive line. Where did football kind of start for you? When did you start playing? And take me through your time, I guess, getting into UCF, starting on that offensive line for the Knights.
So I started playing football when I was like 7 years old. Little league tackle football, and then I was always told you're going to be good, you're going to be great, because I was always one of the bigger kids. And then so I just kind of developed that mindset, and then things started to click in high school, and then I transferred to Armwood from Sefner Christian my junior year, and started getting offers from colleges, and then I got the offer from UCF, and that one felt like home, so I picked it. Through this time, I transitioned and I specialized as an offensive lineman. I had played D-line and O-line through my whole life until my senior year in high school, and I specialized in O-line. That's when I started gaining weight and everything. Gaining weight was one of my hardest things to do. I've actually lost 60 pounds in the last year. It's just fell off of me because it was really hard to even put the weight on. I played offensive line for UCF. My first year was the Fiesta Bowl year. I got to witness Blake Bortles and his prime at UCF. It was top peak of his success. It was really cool. It was fun to watch him at practice. I got to experience O'Leary's dynasty, or whatever you want to call it, empire for a while. And then when that started toppled and we went 0-12, I got to experience the Frost empire, and it was just there's a very different experiences I have in both of them. I would happily play another year for Frost right now if I had the opportunity, and that's really all I need to say. I think it was a really great ride. I was a starting left tackle for 3 of those years, for the 0-12 and for the 13-0 season. The 13-0 season was a very surreal time. It was like, what's going to happen this week? You know what I mean? What's going to happen this week? What's going to happen this week? Like, you just like, it's unprecedented to do something like that, and to like not let the pressure cave you or whatever, and like for the whole team to continuously fire on all cylinders throughout the season is a really special thing to be a part of and to witness. So I don't know, it was cool. And then I had the opportunity after that to play for the Philadelphia Eagles as a priority free agent. I did all right. I graded out the number 1 left guard out of the rookie class for that preseason, and then I didn't get an opportunity to play that year, and then I got an opportunity to play for the AAF last year or the year before with Spurrier. That was a really great experience. I learned a lot. But after that, so that's my football career.
Gotcha. So you kind of seem to get to play under a lot of pretty big name coaches, going from George O'Leary to Scott Frost. Was it Doug Peterson with the Eagles then?
Yes.
Yeah, and then Steve Spurrier. Out of those four coaches, what were kind of some of the differences, I guess, just briefly? And then, if you could go back to play for one of those four coaches, long term, who would it be?
The difference is there's just all those different approaches, different I guess energies. You would say, as a weird way to put it. I would say O'Leary was a little more of an angry energy. Frost was more of a little more positive, upbeat. Peterson was very positive, upbeat. Just like different flavors, I guess, each person. It was just like how we got the job done. I think the one I enjoyed the most, like Spurrier was really, really funny. Peterson was really funny, really intelligent, very intentional. O'Leary was a very intense coach, but got a lot of stuff done. And you can look at his success record, like his record, and you can just see it. You can see his success. The 0-12 season is an anomaly. If you really look at it, all the moving parts, it's just like a perfect storm. But if I had to pick a coach to play again, I would pick Frost every single time. I just really thoroughly enjoyed playing for him and like being a part of that team. It was truly a brotherhood. It was just a special time in my life, for sure.
Yeah, I think as a UCF fan at the time, student, kind of that transition period for me, obviously emotional as a fan and someone that is so into the football team, but obviously as a player for you, it had to be even on another level. But I guess going from O'Leary to Frost, kind of the ground and pound style. I know you mentioned Blake Bortles had a pretty solid breakout season, then getting drafted 3rd overall by the Jaguars. But what was the style of offense? Like, what was the difference going from O'Leary to Frost, and what did that kind of change as far as your responsibilities, or did it pretty much remain the same, just a little bit faster?
It was just faster, and the stuff was a little more simplified. Like we have more of a identity as an offense with Frost. We had a bread and butter. We had a thing. We had like just an identity. I guess the best way to put it. I know when we went 0-12, that team did not have an identity whatsoever. It was fluid each week to week, and I think that's part of the reason we failed. But I think that's what allowed us to play faster, is having an identity, having consistency. Because when Frost's first year, we went 6-6, and then that's the growth year. So it's learning the system and all the players buying in, and then the 12-0 season.
Yeah,
because we understood the system and it allowed us to play really, really fast. Because the system didn't change; it was the exact same thing every single day.
And you talked about kind of the growth and the buy-in. Was it difficult as players to buy in coming off an 0-12 year and buying into a whole new coach, something like that?
I think it was a welcomed change for a lot of players. I know I was planning on quitting after that season, like just being done with football for good. I had told my parents, I was like, I don't want to play anymore. Like, I don't want to play for the staff. I don't want to be a part of this environment any longer. And when everything crumbled and fell apart, I was just like, I'm just going to give it a chance. And I think that's how a lot of players were. We wanted to win games. Our pride and our reputation had been bruised severely, beaten severely. And I think we all wanted redemption. And I think it was just the young, fresh start that we all were craving. And I think the fan base responded accordingly. I just think it was a special, like, it was just, again, another perfect whirlwind storm after another, So it's just, I think that's the difference.
Yeah. And how satisfying was it going from, maybe 7,000 to 10,000 people in the stands on Black Friday in, let's say, 2015 to just a crazy atmosphere in 2017 with the Mike Hughes kickoff return? How satisfying is that as a player, knowing that you were involved in building that type of atmosphere from the ground up, knowing what you guys had been, what you became, and then what you were able to build? I
guess I don't know. I know one of the things I wanted as a freshman going into college was to put UCF on the map, because if you look at the campus, you look at, I mean, you could go down the list, not just athletics. You look at everything they're doing, with the engineering program, creating all these crazy things like the bionic arms and stuff. I mean, you can get like the arts department. Every single thing, every aspect of the school is doing incredible things, and I think I wanted to build a legacy, and I still that's one of my legacy driven, legacy minded is sort of the idea, I think. And that's one of my goals for my life is I don't want to live for the moment. I want to live for a legacy,
Mm-hmm.
because I want my kids to be proud of who I was, or so to speak, or whatever. And I think that's what I wanted for UCF. I wanted the fan base like all Alabama had or Penn State had, because I went to the Penn State game and I was like, whoa, you know what I mean? This is crazy. I was like, I hope that's UCF's culture in another 5 years or next season even, this is crazy, ear-numbingly loud, just you can't even hear anything except just an echo of just screams, that's what I want UCF to be, and I think seeing the success we had in the Fiesta Bowl year and then the redemption we had after the 0-12 it was really exciting, because the 0-12 really put perspective on all of it.
Yeah,
because we had the peak and then we had the deepest valley, and then it skyrocketed.
Yeah.
So it's it's the contrast. One of my favorite quotes, and I don't know who said it, but it's contrast creates interest. Contrast creates passion. Contrast, it's just without that perspective shift, that what's the word? Vantage point, you'll never appreciate it.
Yeah, it's so interesting because, like I said, even as a fan and a student at the time, you hit that valley and then, the changes happen and it comes back up, and you step back and you look back on it and it's just unbelievable how far they've come. But you did mention legacy and kind of leaving your legacy. And I know since UCF and with your football career, not necessarily being over, I don't want to say, but just what are some of the other passions you have? I see all these paintings behind you. What kind of got you into art? Have you always been artistic in that form? Tell me a little bit about that.
Art's always been an outlet for me. I think it was always a passion of mine. Secretly, I'd never talked about it. I know my parents have some of my pictures since I was 3 years old. It's a little mouse. They put it on a mouse pad. For all you kids out there, that's a mouse pad. When you roll around, our parents would all have our pictures printed on them or whatever. But my parents had a picture of a mouse I drew. It's literally a rectangle with a nose. That was it. But I just have always enjoyed art. It was always a time to bond with my mom, and my dad was always a creative goofball. But he was never good at art, but he was good at being creative. And I think I learned some of my creativity from him, but my mom was always talented. She paints still, but I got it from my mama, so to speak. But
yeah,
so I would just enjoy.
I know you've put out a lot of really cool artwork, and for anyone that follows you on Twitter, they've seen it. Obviously, different canvas paintings. You even had a really cool opportunity in the bounce house at the stadium on campus to paint a mural before, I guess, 2 seasons ago. Or maybe it was this past season, but kind of take me through that experience. What was that like, being able to get in there and kind of just let your creativity flow?
It was I couldn't believe I had that opportunity. I remember when I first got there and I opened the first can of spray paint and put the first marks on the wall, I was just I cannot believe that I am graffitiing inside of the stadium. This stadium that I've ran every single step of, this stadium that I have blood, sweat, and teared in, this stadium that I've experienced my cues catch, this stadium becoming from a boy to a man. That's what's so exciting about college football is you see these 18-year-old boys turn into men, and that's what's so satisfying about this, the game of football too, But sheesh, it was just a really surreal thing for me. It was just I can't believe I get this opportunity, and it was just fun. What I got to create was really a memory thing. I've seen people get engaged in front of it, take the graduation photos in front of it. like what an honor, really, genuinely. I'm so thankful that UCF even trusted me to do something like that. So yeah.
So a buddy of mine actually has that mural as his Zoom background for all the meetings.
I think I saw that.
So it's really funny. He has that in when you mentioned the graffitiing and stuff, I was like, wait, I'm pretty sure that's the exact background that he uses. So would you say that's your favorite piece of artwork, or do you have another one that you would kind of highlight as your favorite, maybe most memorable, meaningful?
Oh, I think that one has the largest reach, the largest impact for sure because of the platform it's on. But I mean, I don't know. I really enjoy most of my paintings. Would you want to see some of them?
Yeah, go for it. I'll take a look at them.
Can you see it? I don't know. Can you see that? I don't know if you can. It looks blurry on my screen.
Yeah, so I can see it, but I think people watching, they can see it if you're talking behind it, so that it's
okay. So I keep talking like this. So that's Frank Sinatra. Does that work?
Yeah, that's good. Perfect.
This one's called "Open Your Mind," like that. So this is just a guy thinking, his brain's growing out. Nice. This one's called "Focus" with a Gucci background. More trendy piece, I think. This is called "The Lamb of God" right here. This one's one of my favorite pieces. I think this is my favorite piece, honestly, like truthfully.
Yeah.
And then I got this Kobe Bryant piece called Mamba. I sold some prints of this. This piece I am auctioning. Well, not auctioning, but I'm selling it, and all the proceeds I'm sending to Kobe's foundation. So you want to get the word out for that. There's just some other stuff. Like this is some paintings my girlfriend made for me, and then my mom made for me. That's one of my mom's paintings.
Nice.
So yeah, but yeah, I just got my art, and I do some abstracts every once in a while, but it's called Serenity and Rage. But yeah, so art
really
is my outlet.
A really wide range of paintings, from abstract, graffiti, spray paint to canvas and more, I guess, meaningful paintings to you with the whole Kobe Bryant thing. And with that Kobe Bryant one, where can people kind of bid on that or purchase that?
You can just contact me directly, like at my Twitter handle or my Instagram handle. I'm just whoever wants it can buy it. I'm not going to auction it. I'm just going to, whoever wants it buys it, and then I'll mail it to them, and whatever left of the proceeds will go to his charity.
And that's at _Evan66, correct?
Yes, sir.
Awesome. Yeah. So I'll put that also when I post it to make sure people can get there. And here, take a look at some of my paintings. I want your thoughts on what I've done recently, or not recently, back when I was younger, when I was more creative than I am now. So take a look, and I want your opinion.
See, I personally like it. I like the composition. I like the flow. I like the colors you used. I think it has a nice contrast. Personally, I like that.
Okay. Now, how about this one? Not too sure what this is. Maybe a horse, maybe a donkey. I don't know, but
I think this one is a little rougher. I think it looks good. It's a little bit too muddy and just it's kind of like, but a
little bland.
Overall, yeah, a little bland.
All right, and then how about this one? This is a big one. It was in the art fair locally here up in Jacksonville. Thoughts?
I think this one is fantastic. I think it's really good. I like how you did the translucent effect on the glass and just using the border lines. I think a lot of people overthink that and they don't do it correctly, and I think you did a nice job with that. So yeah.
So while I'm not going to get back into painting because I don't trust my abilities, that's what I used to be able to do. So that was some fun stuff, I guess, back in elementary school art class. So
well, most people grade out as at genius level creativity when they're little, and then they grow out of it because they don't because it's a muscle like anything else. You practice. I'm telling you from experience. Doing art full time for the last year has opened doors and creativity that I didn't know were there. Because I'm forcing myself to do it every day, constantly doing. I cook better now because of it. I swear I cook better now because of it. Because I can think about ingredients more openly. Because the more creativity you have, the more creative you are with everything.
So you heard it here first, people. Paint and work on that creative muscle, and you'll become a great cook, right?
Yeah.
For sure. Well,
Or
no,
something
Aaron,
else.
Yeah, right. Well, Aaron, no, I appreciate you being here again. Aaron Evans at @A_Evans66 on Twitter to look at some of his artwork and what he's been doing recently. But it's really been great having you and only a handful of players from that Fiesta Bowl team were on that Peach Bowl team. So, thanks for kind of taking us through those stories of, triumph and tribulation and kind of getting that out there. I'm sure a lot of UCF fans, football fans, college football fans in general are going to enjoy hearing that.
Yeah, I hope so. I hope they keep supporting UCF. I bleed black and gold, so let's go.
For sure, man. All right, man. Go Knights.
Yeah, go Knights.
So again, thank you to Strings Sports Brewery for bringing us that interview. Be sure to go check out Strings Sports Brewery in North Jacksonville, just north of downtown on Main Street. So go check out the great stuff that they're doing there. But it is time for PoojieParlay, presented by Shores Pub Mandarin, which unfortunately right now is shut down momentarily due to the coronavirus here in Jacksonville. We saw a lot of the bars and restaurants get shut down again based on recent test results coming out and spikes in cases. So Shores Pub Mandarin, they always do a great job there as well, especially when they're open, of course. So definitely going to be sure to check them out again when they reopen. Excited to get back in there. But PoojieParlay had a nice weekend. Didn't hit big as far as winners are concerned, but had some nice top 10, top 20 finishes in the world of golf. I mean, Dustin Johnson kind of separated himself on Sunday in the PGA Tour world at the Travelers Championship, and he ultimately won the tournament, but he did make things interesting. Brendan Todd pulled in us, as I like to say, and had a triple bogey on one of the holes on the back nine, kind of put himself back from the leader, but then the very next hole, Dustin Johnson hits one out of bounds to kind of creep back towards the field. So what went from being a sure-in victory for Dustin Johnson kind of got a little close. Kevin Streelman was up there with him, but Dustin Johnson ended up winning the tournament at -20. But we did hit on the RDP trio. We hit two of those. So the Redmond, Dahmen, and Poston top 20 picks that I do every week because those guys are consistent top 20 guys. Dahmen and Redmond finished top 20, so I hit big there. And then Brendan Steele as well was a nice top 20 pick for this week as well. So hit a few units over even, so that was nice to kind of get that, as well as DeChambeau with the top 5 finish, so that was cool for us as well. And then in NASCAR, 4 races this weekend, 2 in the Cup Series, 1 Xfinity, and 1 Truck Series. And was an interesting week in Pocono. I mean, they do call it the Tricky Triangle, and a lot of drivers are, I guess, built for this course and have consistency at this course. And Chase Elliott, the number 9 car, his dad won here 5 times in his career, which was pretty interesting. But Chase Elliott finished 4th on Sunday. Had a rough time on Saturday, actually. But the story of the weekend had to be Hamlin versus Harvick. It kind of, the back-to-back doubleheader kind of created a nice little rivalry, the back-to-back days, with Harvick beating out Hamlin on Saturday for the victory, and then Hamlin turning around and beating Harvick on Sunday for the victory. We did hit Almirola's top 5 pick on Saturday and Hamlin's top 3 pick on Saturday as well. On Sunday, we did hit with Matt DiBenedetto top 10. Christopher Bell and Chris Buescher did fall out of the, top 10, got in crashes, but then also hit with another Almirola top 5 pick on Sunday. So some good NASCAR stuff. And then soccer as well, hit a few big picks on soccer. Well, not big, I shouldn't say, but I'm being moderate with my soccer picks just until I get comfortable and confident, but I'm getting there. So got some good soccer picks as well. So that was PoojieParlay presented by Shores Pub Mandarin. Be sure to stick around. We got the Indianapolis 500 coming up this weekend, which is a staple of the 4th of July weekend. So excited for that. And then obviously some more PGA Tour golf. So stick around for more PoojieParlay presented by Shores Pub Mandarin. And until next time, enjoy the rest of your week until I see you again on Thursday. So thanks for listening.
Be sure to follow our show on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and other podcast streaming services, as well as subscribe to our YouTube channel to check out unique video elements for each interview.